Welcome to my in-depth advanced training about finding winning products for 2019. Now, if you're a beginner, try to pay attention with a lot of detail. If you're an advanced user, this is more for you guys. Now, I want to talk about exactly how to find products in 2019 for your dropshipping stores. Whether you use Shopify, Amazon, whatever the platform is that you're using, this will be relevant for you, but we're gonna get a little bit in depth and we're gonna talk about some mega amounts of data. So first of all, my name is Jarrett Belliveau. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Let's just jump right into this. I don't think I need a cheesy interlude. So here we go. I look at things like industry trends. This is gonna seem like a lot of data to you guys, and that's why I said that this is a little bit more advanced, but I'm gonna break this down for you, okay? This is based off thousands of orders. As you guys can see, I'm probably covering that. This is based off thousands of orders. So we get tons of data in the door about tons of countries, and we try to break this data down. Of course, I could try and break this data down myself, but we use AI systems instead to help us with this. So AI is becoming incredibly prevalent in the space in 2019 of data analytics in general. So why not just use that within our dropshipping space? So we take all of this information and we give it to our AI system, and we say, hey, what kind of trends, what kind of niches, what kind of markets should we be entering in the future? That becomes very important for us to talk about. Now, everyone thinks when I talk about products, I'm going to talk about, niches right off the bat, what types of products I should be selling. It's actually quite the opposite. I look at countries first, countries that I can exploit, because marketing budgets don't cost as much there, because every market is going to have products that people want to buy. Whether it's, fitness or pet related, it's going to be different throughout the world, of course. Cosmetics. But I look at these markets and then I find products within them. So first thing I do when I go back to this mega data is I'm analyzing this, and my AI systems made a lot of decisions for me, and I'm going to show you exactly where I house those decisions for you. Now, I look at things like average order size and conversion rates. So these are on separate sheets right now. So let's chat about conversion rates right off the bat. When I look at conversion rates, this is just kind of giving me the idea and the perception that, well, there are other countries in the world outside of America that purchase. This is based off thousands of orders. So that's a pretty crazy stat. I don't even care about America. I don't sell in America personally. I don't think it's worth it for me. My stores do a lot better, and I have 7-figure stores that are only overseas, not even Australia. I don't like those markets. They're too competitive, and marketing expenses cost me too much money. So this is like my proof of concept page where I look and I say, okay, some of these countries I would have never thought about selling in, some of them I would have. And some of the countries that I do sell in aren't even on this list. Israel is one of the countries that I sell in. I know that sounds crazy to think about, but they're actually a hot market right now and they're an emerging market. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. From this, our AI system looks at a couple of things and starts to get quality scores. So then we compare this data to things like average order size, because that becomes incredibly important. Now, once again, you're gonna notice that America's not where you think it'd be on this list. Because the thing is, when I look at average order size, things are actually a lot different than what we think, and it's a lot more psychological than what people have thought in the past. Because America especially has changed the way that we have average order basket sizes. You know why? It's simple. Amazon and shipping times. They go hand in hand. When I look at Amazon, they've got a thing called 2-day shipping, right? So, or 1 day sometimes, depending on where you are, and with drones, this is only gonna improve throughout 2019. When I look at this, I go, well, if I'm a consumer, why do I need to purchase $150 of things at once when I get free Prime shipping on one product and I spend 20 bucks? Well, okay, I'll buy one product at a time. It arrives that day or the next day, great. I don't need to invest $150. There's no benefit for me to do that. That's a lot more risk for me. I'll buy the rest of the products when I need them. Maybe I just need one shirt right now. So now it's become tough to motivate a consumer to have a higher basket size. I think you guys follow where I'm going with that. If you don't, please reach out in the comments and I'll fill you in. So I understand that consumers don't have a reason to spend $150. Well, when I go overseas and I look back at that average order size, they do. They have this reason still, because that's not a prevalent option for them. Amazon doesn't have 2-day shipping over there, right? These consumers aren't psychologically trained to be like that. So that's why their average order basket sizes are a lot higher. Now, when I look at like a $40 average basket size, that's actually ginormous, because we still got to keep in mind there's a lot of these stores that just do $10 sales. So there's actually a lot of people in here that are spending $100, $150 plus. Those are high ticket customers for us. In combination with a lot of these markets being a fairly low cost per acquisition because there's no other advertisers in those countries, this is a huge margin that we're left with. My American stores, before I really kind of left them, 10% of my store sales are still in America, but staff manage those for me. they're ongoing stores with brand awareness, my margin's actually very, very low. When I look at these overseas markets, my margin's around that 50% level. It's a crazy value, and that's before tax, obviously, but that's a crazy level compared to what I was left with the American market and the Australian market. So let's jump into this and kind of chat in a little bit more depth about how I do this. Now, yes, every guru that you ever watch, they're gonna have a hidden reason why you're watching their videos. I'm very transparent about why I show you mine. I'm gonna say it right now, it's BS if a guru's on there and saying that they're just filming these videos for free because they hate all the other gurus. I'm sorry, that's not true. Maybe they just started. When I just started as a guru, that's a thing, but at the end of the day, everyone needs to make money. So here's my little plug for you so you can understand where this is coming from, okay? What you're about to see costs you $1 to try, and it costs you between $19 and $29 a month after that, okay? This is where I house all my data. If you want to leave this video because you think I'm not being honest, then leave it. But this is why I make this content. And rather than trying to sell you a $500 or $1,000 course, this is more effective for me. If you hate it, take the value out of this, use a different platform. Doesn't matter to me. You're still going to understand a lot about these concepts. This is going to be quite advanced topics, but you're going to get a lot of value still. So you make the choice. I apologize if you don't respect what I just said, but I really hope that you take this being honest. So this is a software that we developed called Hacking Winners. Now, we had all that data that I was just showing you, and that's kind of why we started this. We had an AI system that analyzed this. We kept it internal, and I was charging people between $1,000 and $2,000 to help them find a winning product based off this system, but it just wasn't a pretty system. Our programmers had all this crazy stuff, and it wasn't neat, and they couldn't see what we were doing, but they'd spit out kind of answers for these consumers. So someone would come to me, a client, and they'd say, Jarrett, I want a winning product. I need something for my store. And I'd say, great, where do you want to sell? What kind of niche? We'd then use this AI system, scrape all of AliExpress, and we'd say, okay, this is exactly what you need to be selling. This is a winning product. We decided that, you know what, this is too timely, and we have a way better system than what we're portraying, right? We're going one-offs, 10 clients a week. It's great money, but this isn't really scalable. So we jumped into this. We made it a pretty system for you. Now, this is actually an adaptive system, and it's changing quite a bit. So depending on when you watch this video, it might actually be a lot better than it is currently, but it's still incredible right now. It's an AI-based platform that makes decisions for us. We taught it from some crazy methods that I'll chat with you in a bit about, but let's just jump right into this because I'm probably starting to bore you. Now, we looked at all those countries before that we said were, top prospected countries, let's call them, okay? So when you guys come into this app, if you guys check this out, you guys can actually go to that preset filter and you'll be able to click things like top prospected countries, okay? There's new filters being added all the time and leaving all the time. It's just kind of based on what the AI system's accurate with. It tells us its accuracy score. So basically, it tests itself every day and says, on December 20th, I'm gonna predict what the sales are gonna be on December 21st. It does that. If it's very off, it'll eliminate that filter because it goes, my system's not accurate right now, I need to learn some more. We demand that it has a 95% confidence interval so that it's right 95% of the time. Pretty cool system, but that's the premise of how this works, and that's why those filters are always changing, just so that you're aware. So you come in here and maybe you have a country in mind. In this case, for this example, I've got a country in mind, and let's do that. But you could use those filters. Now, maybe you also have a niche. So I select my country on the left-hand side because this is just how I prefer to do it. Some people who don't have experience would rather go to that top prospect. And if you're a beginner, absolutely, that's a good place to hang out. Even if you're an advanced user, that's a good place to hang out. It's gonna give you a lot of insight. We'll get to the rest of it once you select a product where you should be selling this product. So from there, I'll go down and maybe I wanna select a niche like pet supplies, or maybe I wanna just sell cosmetics. If I wanna sell cosmetics, chances are I can just use that liquid tab. That's a great starting point for me. The other thing that I like is I'm rather lazy when it comes to creating ad content, especially if I'm just testing a product. So I'm also gonna hit that video tab because that's only gonna show me products that have a pre-made video that I can use for my ads. Great. So let's toss this all in and let's see what we get. As you guys can see, all these products are propagating. Now, we have over 1 million products. It's scraping over 100,000 every couple days. So there's always new products being added because, of course, AliExpress is always adding new products. Products are becoming irrelevant. Products are starting to begin selling. We don't have products on here that have 0 sales. That's not beneficial for us. All of these products at least have 50 sales, so they're pretty advantageous as is. Now, I look at this. Let's just click into one of these products, okay? Before I do that, actually, on the top left, you guys can see my kind of filter system here. So we've got tons of options. 6 to be exact as of right now. Now you guys can look at that top line. That's actually comparing sales to the last period. So if I look at yesterday, it's comparing it to the day before. If I look at last 3 days, It's comparing it to the 3 days previous, last week, so on and so forth. Now, the one below that is percentage of sales. I personally rather prefer to hang out in the actual amount of sales, but sometimes some of the countries have such small data on them that percentage is a better option. Just check it out. Whatever has the least amount of zeros popping up, that's what you're gonna wanna hang out on. When I'm filming this video, there was just actually a major holiday, so that's why I've got a little bit more zeros than you'll have when you go in there, but that's totally fine because obviously those orders weren't fulfilled on those holidays. Now, I've got all my stuff ready, and I'm gonna click into a product here. When I click into a product, you're gonna notice something pretty cool. Yes, I get a lot of data on that product, but what I'm actually looking for is, okay, that was the primary country that I put in my presets that I wanted to sell it. Now this circle is gonna give me where this product's actually sold in the world as well. Now, you're gonna see a lot of common trends, like things like Russian Federation, Israel, Australia. Of course, the US is gonna be in there, but I don't like that. A lot of the products that I sell don't even have US in it. Now, from that wheel, I'm actually gonna go and I'm gonna go right to my Facebook ads or Google ads, and I'm gonna use that as my countries that I'm targeting. I start very broad with my ads, and I wanna leave all these countries in there so that I can find the success. These platforms obviously know a lot more about the products that I'm selling and who's gonna be a consumer for them than I possibly can. They have access to data of consumers. It's a no-brainer. So I start rather broad. So now I've got my product. If I click that go to AliExpress link, I can find that video and I can actually hit that download button on that video. Now it's probably loading as you're watching this, but I can hit that download button on that video. So now great, I've got actual ad content, I've got my targeted countries, now I just need to make my interests. That's not very hard to do, especially if I'm keeping it as a broad space. Now I launch this ad to these overseas markets where my Facebook ad expense or my Google ad expense is relatively cheap compared to US or Australia. So I launch this ad and I should expect to be able to get a sale within $10, $15, $20. Now my testing budget's a lot less because of this. I have a relevant product, I have a relevant ad, I have a relevant content, and I've got a relevant country selection. Great. This is how I go through testing my products and launching my products. This is a very, very powerful tool for you guys, and this is literally how I find my products for clients, and I was charging $2,000 for this. Exact same system, just wasn't as pretty. Now it's pretty, so now I charge a little bit of money for it. This is the premise. Continue on here, you guys can find tons of products. Look at all the relevant ones and continue to test these out. As soon as you do get success, I don't leave that original video as my video. I'll let that success ride out, but from there I'll actually go and I'll create a video. So I'll spend $50 or $100. I'll use one of my guys that does a lot of video editing for me. He'll create a video for me. Or I'll contact one of my influencers or an influencer in the space and I'll get that made for me. That's very, very powerful. This is the premise of how this works. Now, yes, obviously a plug, but you guys can go and find another software if there is one that's as good as this out there on the market. I encourage you to. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to compete with me and my AI. You're just not. So for those of you guys that are looking at products, if you guys are a new Shopify seller or new drop shipper or an experienced one, this is AI based. This is going to show you a lot of cool things. It's always adding things. If you guys do a search and you notice that not a lot of products come up, you can do one of two things. You can either contact us and we'll make sure that we get you products ASAP. The other thing is our system's going to recognize that you did that search and we didn't give you sufficient results, so it's automatically going to do that. If you contact us, it's going to expedite that process and we'll do it a lot quicker for you. But pretty crazy system, and this is literally how I go about finding my products in 2019 and moving forward. I don't know what's going to be able to beat this. Now, keep this in mind, you guys. It's not about product selection. It's more about country selection. Find those countries that you want to sell in, add those to your inputs, then you can find products within your niche. Don't do it the other way around. If you try to find products and then try to find a country, you're gonna have a lot of trouble, right? Because you're trying to make something work. Instead, find something that's got an open mindset, country, and then give them something that you know works, product. That's how I simplify things on an advanced level. So I hope I didn't get too complex with this. I hope you guys still understood what I was saying. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments. Depending on where you're watching this video, I really appreciate the support. Obviously, like, subscribe, whatever it is. I know that's a lot to ask. That's why I create this content. Obviously, that helps me out, and that's why I can charge so little for my programs. Now, I'm encouraging you guys to go there and check that out. If you guys have any questions at all, private message me or leave a comment below this video. I'll make sure that I reply, not someone else, rather quickly. You guys might get an automated message from a bot, but know that I'll be there right away, and that'll message me saying that you guys commented or messaged, and I'll reply to you. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thanks for watching. I'm excited to see your success. Please share it with me. I always love having some case studies. Chat with you later. Bye.